Babe, wake up! New Legends news! Dragon Ball Legends Festival is finally almost here. Let's see what they got. It's back. The incredible once-a-year event will soon begin. Oh, yeah, baby. Let me know how many of you guys are excited about the DBL Legends Festival. I personally have been anticipating the heck out of Legends Festival, running back around. And so we have an announcement here for the reveals and stuff. DB Legends reveals and stuff are always hype, but this one's gonna be special, boys. I can feel it in my bones. I can feel it in my bones. Legends Festival reveals and stuff, all of it's gonna go crazy. All right, so we got the little announcement and date here. So on the 23rd, we will be getting the reveals and stuff. And what's going to wind up happening is on that same day, they're most likely dropping the banner because you guys know that's what they do. That's how they do. That's how they roll. So they're going to drop that same banner. And just quick note, this year it wound up being on the 23rd. I'm happy about that. It really sucked when it was on the 25th, like last year or the year before, because I'm oftentimes pretty busy that day, as you can imagine. Some of you guys probably are too. And what winds up happening is the banner releases earlier than usual. So for context, like today, when we get the data download and stuff, that stuff that's going to push today doesn't go live until 11. Actually, I think it's 10 now because the clock just changed, but 10 or 11 Pacific Standard Time for me. And this stuff's going to push at 7 p.m. So this will be a little bit earlier. So if you're on the East Coast, it's going to be about 10, things like that. So anyway, what do you guys think about the upcoming reveals and stuff / Legends Festival 2023 celebration kicking things off just before the end of the month? I'm excited about that. So I want to go ahead and talk about a few other things here. Be sure not to click off because we're going to talk about some fun stuff. We're going to talk about what I think is coming in this, and I technically did do a video on this already, which I'll point you to after this for a little bit more elaboration. And we'll also talk about the Gohan that's also in here too, because I'm really excited about that, what that could mean, etc. So stay tuned, jam-packed video coming your way. All right, so Legends Festival 2023. The first thing I want to say is this is something I just kind of scrolled past, and I bookmarked it so I could have it for the video. Shout out to Soul F2P or Free to Play. He does note that the Goku and Vegeta are not a part of this specific graphic, and that I'd imagine that's because they just didn't have a spot to put them. But anyway, other than that, they do also show up in the trailer. But the main thing I want to kind of say with this is don't really read too much into these. I've said this a lot of times in the past. They don't literally sit here and try to find ways to tease stuff in these videos unless they're going out of their way to try to tease stuff. And what I mean by that is it's extremely rare for them to tease stuff in these videos, especially something like, you know, missing a character or whatever, like we just showed, or by colors. Oh my god, the color thing kills me. Oh my god, the color thing kills me. And for context, I don't have it open. Xbox person over on Twitter, shout out to you as well. He posted, and I'm pretty sure it was a joke / meme. He posted a post where it's like, oh, top left corner's red, bottom is blue. That's Evolution Vegeta and Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku tag character confirmed. And by the way, if we happen to get them, that would have nothing to do with this screen. This is not a tease, okay? Dude, the color thing kills me because every now and again it's right, and then it's like, oh yeah, we're vindicated, baby. No, you're not. Okay, let's move on. So I talked about recently in a video how I am looking forward to them potentially doing original animations like Dokkan has recently been doing with their Vegeta Blue and Future Gohan, some other characters as well over the years. I expect this game to maybe try to take that. If they don't do it here, I expected it by anniversary as well. That's something I think is high on the list for them. Also, I think Pikkon and Gogeta being two characters that aren't related in any particular way, being a tag / not a tag, excuse me, a revival character, I think that is also something that's interesting because this could be the groundwork for something else that's pretty big and very relevant. I mean, this is basically akin to like something like Vegito and Gogeta being together. Yeah, that would make sense. You get my point, right? It's akin to Zamasu and Vegito Blue and a what if character, like a what if character teaming up and stuff like that. That's basically what this is. You may say, well, we had Gohan and Piccolo once upon a time, but that was different because you would be Gohan both ways, right? This is totally different. So anyway, moving on. I think that there are multiple ways that they've laid the groundwork for whatever Legends Festival could potentially be. And I want to ask you guys, what do you think they're going to wind up doing? So in my video, which I'll point you to in a minute because I want you guys to check it out for elaboration and stuff, I did say that I think it's possible USS / Tournament of Power gets another release or some more support, in which I wouldn't be surprised, like I said, if we did get a tag, Evolution, Kaioken, Goku, blah, blah, blah. I wouldn't be surprised if we wound up getting that. That just is something. With this game, here's the deal. With this game, they come back to certain teams over and over. And this is one of those teams that they come back to relatively often. Not always when you want them to, because there were times where they should have, like with Kaioken here. If they had came back sooner, he maybe would have had a better lifespan initially, because he was actually really good, but his team was so bad, right? So maybe if they come back a little sooner, more incrementally, as opposed to like once every like 8 months or something, you know, stuff like that, every 6 months, you know, with some of these teams, they're better off. But Movies is a team that they do that for, obviously Future. In fact, Movies we'll talk about in a minute. So I think that is on the table, but I do think those other two teams and GT are also heavily on the table for a celebration. But I did want to throw the idea that it could also be potentially time for them to release more variations of their game original characters. We don't see these guys talked about enough. I will be coming back and doing a video with some of these characters sometime soon, by the way, because I want to showcase them sometime soon. And the story, I haven't read the last couple of chapters, but it did bring up the fusion between Giblet and Shallot and stuff like that, or Shallot, to Shallot. Anyway, the guy on the top of the screen, it does have that, so maybe we get that at some point. I've seen some speculation about that. These are things, I think Legends Festival this year, the point is, I think Legends Festival this year is going to be different than the norm. That's what I think. That's the key takeaway. Different than the norm, whether that's game original characters, different animations, game original animations, what if characters, I don't really know. But I think that is heavily on the table. So speaking of on the table, what's up, Gohan? You guys, if you know me, this is my favorite Gohan, like, period. I love Gohan in that outfit from that movie. That is my favorite Gohan, period. Super Saiyan 1, Super Saiyan 2, even base. I love all of it. So for me, this is huge. Now, here's the funny thing. I don't know if this is some sort of hint to something like an Ultra father-son Kamehameha Gohan that's going to pop up in Part 3 of the Legends Festival or whatever. I don't know if that's a hint to this, but by the way, if it was, I think it would be a little too early for that, technically. I don't know if this is an offshoot to just Legends Festival's movie celebration, or Legends' movie celebration that we're kind of in and kind of ending with Janemba and stuff. In fact, if I were to bet, I would probably say it's the latter, that it is just an offshoot of that, like Tapion, where it's not really meant to be anything, you know, hinting at what's upcoming, but it's more so just to tie up the knots for what we're kind of ending. Unless we transition into movies for Legends Festival, by the way. That's totally on the table. That's something, like I said, that they could potentially do, because they always come back to movies. It just would be weird to buff that team more right now, right? After giving them Janemba, it just feels like overkill, right? But anyway, I don't really know. But what I will say is I'm excited about that, and it could also potentially be some sort of hint towards a hybrid type character, Sun Family type of character, Goku's family I think it's called in this game, or Sun Family I think it's right. Anyway, it could be a hint towards one of those two teams as well. So the last thing I want to kind of hit on is the, here we go, the Gohan. So when we come to Gohan, we don't have a lot of representation for this character. Now, here's the funny thing. We've had a few Gohan releases this year. They haven't really particularly been like amazing. So anyway, we'll see what happens with this guy. But if we wind up getting a new Gohan, that will, like I said, potentially open the door for some of these other characters even here to get a Zenkai or a Platinum equivalent. I'm looking at a character like this. Same character, same movie. They could totally do a buff to this guy if they're planning on doing movies or like Sun Family or some team that would incorporate these Gohans, basically. I'm not particularly sure on that either. But like I said, if you want to know more about my thoughts for the perfect Legends Festival, click this video on the screen now.